everyone, as you can see, we are currently moving into a new place, so apologies for the construction equipment. Happy New Year! For those that don't know, I got my start on TikTok, but with its banishment to darker places by the Lich Council of America, I had to move my coffee shop from there to here. However, to help with the move, I promised my followers that if we got to 10k subs here on YouTube, I would do a deep dive into the 5th Chaos God, Malal. And well, you guys crushed that in a week, so now I have to hold up my end of the bargain. So grab a hot or cold beverage and sit back as we discuss this fucking thing. The origins of Malal go back to the 1980s with writers John Wagner and Alan Grant creating Caleb Dark, a champion of the Chaos God Malal for a Warhammer Fantasy tie-in comic to the Warhammer Fantasy RPG/tabletop game. Malal is the god of anarchy, who is basically a chaos god that, well, causes chaos, even against their fellow gods. It is stated that Malal hates the other 4 chaos gods, Khorne, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, and Nurgle, and that he is just as likely to fight them as he is to fight any other faction. Caleb Dark got a model and rules for fantasy, so Malal officially had a playable champion for a while. But here's where things get tricky. So, I don't know how British copyright law works, much less how it worked back in the 80s, but from what I'm able to understand, since John and Alan created Malal, they were in control of what could be done with him in Caleb Dark. But John and Alan would later have basically what many comic drama channels nowadays would describe as a total dramatic falling out! In reality, the two just had creative differences for where they wanted to take the Judge Dredd comics, and they stopped working together. It's a common thing within the comics industry. But with the two separating and both having an ownership of Malal and Caleb, Games Workshop really couldn't do anything or even mention them without a potential copyright issue. There would be attempts to have something like Malal. Games Workshop created 2 more minor gods, Zuvasin and Neocho, but those 2 would quickly be dropped anyway because who honestly gives a shit about 2 gods who only have like a sentence to their names each? So this technically ends the story of Malal, a minor chaos deity that only had 1 champion, was in 1 edition of Warhammer Fantasy's early life, and well, it should have ended there. However, in 2002, something came up. A small model within the 3rd edition Chaos Space Marine Codex, version 2.0, shows a Marine. Now, to the lot of you, seeing a Marine in a Chaos Space Marine Codex is like me pointing out a car to you in a Wendy's parking lot. I'll take a Dave's double combo, by the way. But it's what's on the car that I am pointing out to you. This Marine's paint scheme is oddly the same color as Malal's, and even more perplexing, the name under it says Sons of Malice. Now, if I didn't start activating the part of your brain that makes the excited monkey noises, well, they were mentioned by name in the Eye of Terror Codex! Ooh! But it wouldn't be until 2004's Index Astartes series where the connection was finally bridged. The Index Astartes series was a rather fun and cool series of books, giving us the framework of the Space Marines, talking about the origins of the original 20 legions, both Loyalist and Traitor, while also giving us a bit more on both the successors of the Loyalist and Traitor legions, and the stories of Space Marine chapters that went renegade or fell to chaos. Here we get the story of the Sons of Malice, a Space Marine chapter that fell into the worship of the renegade god Malice, whose domains were the exact same as Malal's. So in true Warhammer tradition, retcons are the way to go. This was around the time Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k were still tied together in some ways, so it was pretty easy for James and his workshop to change some names around and throw Malal into 40k to save everyone the headache. Just drop the Al and add in the Is and voila, Malice. Who worships him? I don't know, some cannibals from a backwater like Camino from Star Wars? So with those things in proper place, the Sons of Malice and Malal would obviously take center stage, give Abaddon a huge wedgie, and stick it to the man, and have all the sex, and be the coolest dudes, and... yeah, no, that's not what happened. They got a short story called The Labyrinth in 2009, which... is a read, and aside from a quick cameo in Imperial Armor Volume 13, Lost in the Damned, these guys were quickly abandoned, much like my sanity in researching this. Now, I did see that the Sons of Malice, or at least Malice himself, was mentioned in the 2017 book Cadia Stands, but since I don't own that book, I can't confirm it, so... leave it in the comments, I guess? Or in the glass of your local swimming pool. I promise the people will be scared of you. So, that's it then, right? Malice and his merry band of cannibal edgelords haven't been seen since 2014-17, which at this point is either over or close to a decade. But even then, the gap between sightings for these guys has been over 3 years each time. So, that's it then, right? I'm free, right? So, the Horus Heresy ended with The End and the Death, written by Dan Abnett. This 3-part epic that puts the Bible to shame in page length introduced the new 5th Chaos God, the Dark King, a god of wanton and mindless destruction. However, the twist here is that the Dark King is supposed to be the Emperor of Mankind, meaning that Malal is now Big E. Who the f*** is this guy? Yeah, in short, the End and the Death straight up retcons Malice into being the Emperor of Mankind. Which, I mean, makes sense. Big E hates the Chaos Gods like how I have an irrational hatred of ASMR tapping videos. And since Malal's entire existence is just hating on the other 4 gods, it's not a big stretch. Basically put, due to the Emperor's actions and how he went about things, the 4 Chaos Gods basically doomed him to become the 5th Chaos God as the ultimate YouTube prank. Because due to the Great Crusade and how the galaxy and how the Traitor Legion saw him, he was just a being of mindless destruction, and the events of the Horus Heresy and Siege of Terra were all leading up to this moment. And yeah, even though Big E and the Super Friends stopped his ascension in the book, it doesn't matter, as they only delayed it. Since when Big E finally does do the die, he will become the Dark Malice. So, that's the history of Malal, a minor Chaos God that showed up in 1 comic and rulebook and was abandoned for little over 2 decades, was brought back as a background thing with a Chaos Warband that maybe was mentioned every half decade, and now is just Big E. Which, when I look at the board of intrigue, it's a boring straight line. Yeah. There wasn't some dramatic blowup, no epic legal battle, nothing of the sort. Basically, Malal was made for a comic, things fell through, and sometimes a GW writer, painter, or a group will simply just add him and his sons in for fun. But with the End and the Death, Malal is now just Big E, waiting to take his throne. Which, with 40k being the way it is, well, it might as well be fucking purgatory. I hope this short video was worth the wait. I learned a lot, and it was nice to know that the creator of Judge Dredd helped make this guy. Plus, I now never have to talk about this guy ever again, so it's a win for me! I'm free to talk about other things, like Bad Dab and other battles within 40k, or even the books. I'm free! I'm free!
One debt to society later.
Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join the Patreon to see videos a week early. As well, I stream Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. But don't think we are done with 40k. The next major video will be about another abandoned 40k thing. Dawn of War 3. A game that was easily overhyped and just as quickly abandoned. So next time, we will find out why. See you all next time.